want you to know what Rotary's about, and here's our speaker and so forth. We can't do that. We haven't been able to do that in quite a while. Some have been able to do it some, but it's still not the same. So we have discussed utilizing, getting your message out with Facebook and Instagram and all these other areas, but we also realize that just putting it out there is not the answer to growing our clubs. And so I'm going to let Brittney talk about how they have utilized Facebook and mining it. And so she's going to present to you all some information on to watch it and hopefully take it home with you and help your clubs to utilize this. So I'm going to turn it over to Brittney if that's okay. And Brittney, your mic is off just in case.
Couldn't figure out where it went. So you'll see my screen. Okay.
I see it.
What you see the screen?
I'm having a hard time hearing you though.
You said you can see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So my name is Brittney Stevenson. I am the president of the Muhlenberg County Rotary Club. This has definitely been an interesting year with COVID and everything else going on. So let me just kind of throw out a disclaimer. We don't do a whole lot with our Facebook page, but I did want to share some of the stuff that we have going on just because I thought that it may help some of you, maybe give you some ideas on ways to promote your group and get some things going. But I'm also really excited to hear what everyone else is doing. So
Brittney, you're cutting in and out, so you might need to move closer to your microphone and not move.
Okay. Hold on. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, consistent.
They gave us new computers here at work, so not the best, but you all see my screen okay?
Yeah, we've got it.
Okay. So basically what I was saying is that we don't do a whole lot with our Facebook page, but I did want to share some of the things that we've been doing that seem to be somewhat successful, and I'm excited to hear what some of you are doing as well and get some ideas so that I can take them back to our club. But one of the things that I've been trying to stress and talk to my group about is just sharing the Facebook page and following it. So if your group has a Facebook page, one of the things that you need to think about is, are you actually following the page? Because we can't expect people to promote it and to join the page or follow it or like it if we're not doing it ourselves. One of the things that I did that really increased our page viewings is I went through my friends list. I just invited a lot of my friends. I did a protest, or I participated in one last year, and a lot of people, I ended up with more friends on Facebook than I had before from the county. And so I just started inviting a lot of people to like our Rotary Facebook page. So we try to do different posts. Mostly it's whatever happens at our meetings. This page is one where we had one of our guest speakers. So we try to make sure to share that information each week whenever we have someone come and speak, and then share a little bit of information about our guest speaker so that people in the community can see that we have different people coming in and talking to the group. And so another thing we're trying to do is find more ways to be creative and interactive with our Facebook page. One thing that I thought about doing is a contest where we have people like, share, comment the page, and then we do some sort of drawing. So hopefully we'll get some more participants from that. Another thing that we posted about was recruiting speakers. So I think it's very important to get people locally, especially, to come in and talk to the groups. And pretty much every week, if we don't have a project or something else going on, we have different people come in. And a lot of times the members are responsible for finding speakers, but I thought it would be a good idea to send something out saying, hey, we're looking for volunteers, we're looking for people to speak. would you like to be one of those people? And we've had several people that reached out to us that said, hey, I'd like to share what we have going on with our organization or business. And that seemed to work well and help to fill out our calendars. And it takes a little bit off of me and some of the other members too, when we have people reaching out to us saying that they want to speak. This has been one of our more successful things. When you make people think that they're getting an opportunity to participate in something that they rarely get a chance to participate in, I think that they jump on that a little bit more. So I somewhat copied a flyer that I found on Facebook about Rotary, but I put that we were now accepting new members. You know, although we're always accepting new members, people don't really know that. So I posted this, and then I shared it on my Facebook page, and then within a couple of hours, we had 2 or 3 people saying that they wanted to join. And then within the last week, we've had at least 4 people reach out and say that they wanted to become members. So I think that doing something like this every few months will be beneficial to the club, because like I said, it really seems to work. I told some of my members to make sure that they shared it, just because if people think that they're getting a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, they're more likely to jump on it than if they know, oh, they're always taking members. This is really nothing special. So I was pretty excited about this one. And then the last thing that we're going to start doing is we're going to be spotlighting our Rotarian of the Week. And I know that there's some other clubs that do this. We've been talking about doing this for about 6-7 months, but we just haven't had a chance to actually get it going. But each week or every other week, we'll post about a Rotarian, put their information, what they do, how long they've been a Rotarian, and just different things about them, just so that people will get to know a little bit more about people in our club. And, you know, when they see familiar faces, it's like, oh, they're a part of that. Okay, I want to join too. So we're really just trying to do some things to get more involved with the community. We haven't done very many service projects in the public, but we've got a couple of things coming up, and we'll post them through Zoom or whatever it is. Hopefully post some of those pictures so that people can see us a little bit more. That's pretty much all that I have as far as what the Muhlenberg County Club is doing. We have 20 members, so it's not a very large club, but I absolutely love my group. They're willing to jump in and do whatever. So they're excited, I'm excited, and just kind of keep going with whatever we have going on. Do you guys have any questions about any of that?
Does anybody have any questions they want to ask Brittney?
Brittney, can I just make a comment? You may remember when I was visiting your club virtually, and we talked about the lady who on your Facebook page shared everything that you posted. And I asked if any of you knew her, and you all did. And the next question was, does anybody know why she's not a Rotarian? And you remember what your answer was?
We said we didn't ask her.
Because you didn't ask. So has anybody asked her to join since?
Yes, and I did find out that one of the members had asked her, but she went back and asked again. But she was willing to still do whatever. She works for our Chamber of Commerce, but oh, she hasn't joined, but we're still working on her. We've gotten a couple of other people interested too, though, because it helped us to really start thinking more about recruiting.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Brittney. Now, on the energy that it shows with your club, with getting involved like this and being excited about with your posts, I think that will help draw people to you also. So I think that you all have created a wonderful habit in doing that. And I hope that the rest of us can kind of jump in and do more. I know that we tend to want to post, you know, events that happen and do that, but we can go beyond that, and just like I said, with the recruitment and with getting good speakers and just sharing information about what Rotary does locally and, you know, on a national level, international level. But no, thank you very much. Like I said, this is a new way that we're trying to utilize, another way of communication with the public. But we still need to try to utilize more with the things that we've used to do and maybe try to do it better. And Caitlin and I were talking a while back about utilizing, different forms, whether it's, I'm in the TV business, but, newspaper and all these other entities. So I wanted Caitlin to kind of talk about some of the things that she's been doing recently to get the public more aware of what Rotary is doing in her area. And here again, maybe it's something that we can duplicate in our own area.
Absolutely. Thank you. So with my particular club, we are a very, very small club. So we have kind of gone back to the basics, so to say, in a couple of different ways. First thing first is we wanted to advertise a little better in our area. And given that Grayson County is kind of a rural area, there's not a lot of people that are really big into social media. The younger generations definitely are. So we do have a social media presence. But when it comes to recruiting members and really wanting to get our message out there, one of the things we have started doing is utilizing the People of Action campaign. And we will be posting that in the newspaper. Granted, because of everything that's gone on with COVID, we don't have a lot of individual photos of our club members doing service projects over the last year, as our club has changed a little bit. So we're utilizing some of the pre-made templates that are already given to us on My Rotary and the Brand Center so that we can still get the message out. I would love for us eventually to have photographs of ourselves with the People of Action slogan on it. However, we just haven't been able to do that just yet. So we're going to post these things in the newspaper just to kind of get that buzz generated. One of the other things we're doing in the print campaign is we are adding our meeting day to the community calendar within the newspaper, as well as any special events we have going on. So right now we are recruiting students from the local high school for the speech contest. And although the students are on social media, that doesn't mean that their parents are or their grandparents are. So we are including that information into the community calendar as well to make sure that people know that it's available. So if they see this and they say, oh, hey, my grandson or my granddaughter goes to the high school, let me make sure that they know about this, because we are offering scholarship money. So we want everyone to be aware. I do like Facebook as well. We do have a fairly active Facebook page. And one of the things that I wanted to comment on, I love Brittney's club page. I think it's fantastic, and I love everything that she's doing and how interactive it is. One of the things in addition, and she probably is doing this too, one of the things that we're doing in addition to posting things specifically about our club is being sure to share community things that are happening. So for instance, our local Humane Society, they, with COVID and everything that's been going on, they have decreased in the amount of volunteers that they've had. They've decreased in the amount of supplies that they have. So our club has talked, and that's one of the things we want to start doing as a volunteer opportunity. I saw this on Facebook, so I was able to communicate this information to my club and create a new volunteer opportunity for the Humane Society. But anything that they post, I share on our page as well. You know, this is a community effort, so we want to make sure that whatever organizations within the Grayson County walls, we want to make sure that we're supporting them as much as we can. So our Facebook page is not only about the Grayson County Rotary Club, but it's about Grayson County as a whole.
That's awesome. I love the aspect of sharing other community happenings. I think that will also get your club members excited that they're part of a positive impact. So, and I've never thought about that. So I think that's a wonderful idea. So
Thank you.
That's another one to add. I'm going to try to share my screen. Oh, well, first, does anybody have any questions for Caitlin currently? Okay, guys, you're all supposed to talk.
So, you know, when there's a void, I always jump in. Caitlin, your idea about sharing community stuff, and Brittney, I know that you do that. The folks in Lebanon and Springfield, and we're talking about small clubs where they do a stellar job of that and can point to times when people have noted the Rotary Club because they simply posted somebody else's event, and wanted to do more. Janet, before this gets away and you may be talking about it, let's make sure we talk about what Owenton did on their Facebook page. If you don't know about this, where the whole world needs to know about it, but I don't want to steal anybody's thunder. I don't see anybody from Owenton here.
Please, I was going to say, if you can speak on that, that would be great, because I do not have anyone from Owenton Club.
Do you want me to talk about that now?
Yeah, go ahead.
They put on their Facebook page, and they worked with Brooke Haynes. Brooke Haynes is our consultant in Zoom, by the way, and how they use Brooke, I'm not sure, but this was Brooke's idea. But they posted on their Facebook page, what would it take to get you to join Rotary? Just that question. It had a Rotary background. It looked all pretty. What would it take to get you to join Rotary? And within an hour, they had 4 people with questions, wanting to know more. So number one, what that says is, particularly in your smaller areas, people are following Facebook pages, but just think about asking the question. Think about asking the question, whether any of those folks, this happened last week, so I don't know if any of them joined or not, but they were all going to be invited to, it would have been this week's meeting. So there you go.
That's
I don't know if you all can see my screen or not.
Yes.
Okay, that's even better. Yay. See, Caitlin, you're so good at this.
She's so good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So they actually have had several of these on here. So if you scroll down their news feed, this was the most recent one. This was on January 5th. What would you want to see with the Owenton Rotary for you to become a member? And then let's see, I think they had a few more. I mean, they just got a super active post, and I think I missed one. Here we go. Would you consider joining the Owenton Rotary Club if we broadcast meetings using Facebook Live? So not only are they utilizing social media to find out what their community wants, but they're also trying to find new avenues and new ways to make their meetings accommodating for people in their community. So I love what they're doing, and I am actively working on getting some similar stuff going on in the Grayson County area too. I think it's a great idea.
If you'll just continue to scroll after this question about would you consider, if you look at that very first comment that comes up, talk about a good suggestion to the club. I think clarity of what the Rotary Club is and does is important. I'd like more information about that. They're getting advice from people in their community about people are telling them why they're not joining. We don't know who you are. We don't know what you do.
That's wonderful. Getting the conversation
they've got some
going.
fantastic. Yep, exactly.
No, that's wonderful. One thing, of course, you see how when it's presented like that, it looks wonderful. And I think Brittney had mentioned, or I can't remember, it was Kaylin, that if you look at other Rotary clubs and if you see something they have on Facebook, and I've asked before, can I copy this and use it? Do that, because we're all in this together. So share, and so look through other Rotary clubs, not in our just all over the world, and see what they're doing. And it's fascinating, some of the great things they've come up with. So one thing, I am going to try to share my screen. And it's hold on. There we go. Okay, can y'all see?
Yeah.
Can you see? I've got, because I wasn't quite sure where to go with it, and so I'm just going to do like 3 slides for people that don't utilize the brand center. And I'm going to talk to Joanne. Maybe we can do a training, that people that once you find it, but what do I do with it? So at this point, when you go to this, you go to myrotary.org, and this is what it looks like. And you go there, then you click on, you go to here, and you go, and it gives you the different Let me go back up here and see. Learning, references, manage, and you go into, I think is it the manage one? Because I meant to circle that. Or the learning.
Yes, it is. It's the manage.
Okay, and when you go into that, it'll bring this up. And if you will scroll down, that's where you will see the Rotary Brand Center. So when you see this, this has all the different items that you can utilize that are already there. You don't have to recreate the wheel. It's there for you. So I did have to ask Caitlin to help me in designing and doing some different things. And I'm not even going to try to teach anybody right now. I'm not there. But maybe at some point we can try to help some of, y'all can help us. I'm not going to say old people, but people that I did not grow up on this stuff. So I'm always interested in learning about it. But if this will help us present something cleaner to the public so that they want to ask instead of just typing it out, but to actually put it in a nice, bold, I love the way that Owenton Club presented the question. It wasn't just a typed out question. It was, a graphically pleasing look. So that's kind of where I really like that concept of it. So I'm going to get out of here. Back. Okay. One thing else that was brought up, and Joanne, I am going to call on you. I can share the screen if you want, where I actually, brought the notes down that you sent to me about the new Public Image Award that will be happening. And this is the first that it's going to be announced out there. So, but I can talk about it, but I think Joanne, since she is the one that looked through all the possibilities of bringing this to the district and to let people know about it. So do you mind doing that for me, Joanne?
Sure. And here's the really good news. As of sometime this morning, or maybe last night, Lee Perry posted to our website under documents, and embedded in that is a tab for awards. It actually is the document that talks about all of the awards that we will be presenting at the district conference on, yes, new date, Saturday evening, January 5th. It's going to be virtual. It's going to be fun. It'll be great. And there's a video from me coming out sometime this week about the district conference itself. And then I'm doing a separate one on the awards next week. But the Public Image Awards, this is who you all are. The Public Image Award, and this award is based on size of club again. But this year, the Public Image Award is clearly geared for the clubs that use media, social media and otherwise, to let their organizations know who they are, and then track the people who respond to that media, and in turn invite those people to come to their club meetings, virtual or otherwise. That's what the Public Image Award, the words around it is that we expect every club to have some kind of social media plan or some media plan on how they're going to use all of the forms of media so that we tell our stories well. You've all heard me say this over and over again. Service done well, so long as we tell our stories well, will drive a membership and the money will follow. I mean, you've heard me say this over and over. But so here's the PI part of this. We've got to tell our stories well. But just telling our stories well without following up with the people who react to those stories is a bit of a waste of time. And so we expect you to tell your story well. We want to know what kind of media that you used, but then we will look at the number of people that you reached, If we're talking about social media, those that commented or shared, and then how many folks were literally invited to attend one of your club meetings. Now we're gonna hold the club and membership and foundation responsible, in fact, for turning those people from guests into members, and the foundation folks to turning them into givers. But it's your job as the PI folks to tell our story well and follow up. And so the clubs in every group size, one in every group size that does the best job of doing that is going to win the Public Image Award at the district conference this year. So the language is posted on the website now. And Lee, if folks wanted to actually go in and apply and look at the application itself, is that live?
It will be next week. I just put the hot link in the chat so they can click the chat and see what the requirements are.
Cool, cool. So don't be an overachiever. Don't go apply yet. You have until May 1, and there will be no extensions. You're all going to hear this again. You know, there will be no extensions, and the reasons why are the My Rotary story, my Rotary Moment story, that award. And if you don't know what that is, get out there on the website and find out, because remember, whoever wins this award, there's one winner, and that person is getting $1,500 to go to the international conference in Houston in June of 2022. But it's the person who, in fact, life was impacted by the service that was done this year, because they witnessed the courage of the people that they had the privilege of serving. That award, there will be finalists for that award, and we need, we're going to actually interview the finalists for that award, tape them, because all of that's going to be played the night of the conference. And we're actually doing a lot of pre-taping. So we need you to apply, so that we have 2 weeks to figure out who the winners are. And then because we're doing this virtual, the goal right now is, if it's safe, that several of the clubs, particularly those in the running for these awards, will gather together in pods of 10 or 20 or whatever the right number is. But we're just going to zoom in on the winners that night as well. So number one, you got to be present to win, so come. But for the PI folks, here's your challenge. Tell your story well, and then pay attention to who responds. And make sure you invite them to your meeting, because if you do, you'll get a shout out the night of the district conference.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Governor Joanne. A comment on those posting, and Caitlin and Brittany, y'all probably back me up, you know, definitely post pictures and so forth, but that what catches people's eye is attractiveness of the post. So definitely graphics are wonderful. So if, you know, learn the brand center and see, or copy from other sites, utilizing that, but also video has a very strong basis for getting attention and possibly reaction. So again, come up with new and creative ways to capture your information, your news with your club. But at this point, I would love for anyone else to tell me what you're doing at your club on any type of, whether it's, you know, social media or paper, you know, TV, radio. Is there anything different that you're doing that would be helpful for those of us that are, you know, on this to gain from it?
Janet, this is Dave Corns in Greensburg.
Hey, Dave.
Hi. I was going to talk about something that we did with Facebook this year that other people may have thought about and wondered whether it's worth it or not. And it's the fact that on Facebook, of course, the only people who see your posts are the people who are following your Rotary Club webpage, which is some number. But there's also the ability that you can take a post and boost it, as Facebook calls it, and make it an ad. And you can specify the geography it's going to cover. You can even specify that with things like demographics. But anyways, we experimented with that in Greensburg this year, and we spent throughout the year $250 in 4 different campaigns. Greensburg Rotary is famous for this event we have called Cow Days. It was canceled. We decided to try to sell Cow Days t-shirts, that's a big part of Cow Days, online, which we did. But we wanted to get it to a bigger audience. So we spent $100 in July and $100 in August to advertise, essentially. And instead of just hitting around 1,000 or 1,500 people that will follow our Facebook page, for $100, it got seen by 13,000 people from Louisville, Lexington, Bowling Green area. We kind of specified where we thought a lot of people were. We ended up, throughout the year, we ended up selling $4,000 in a combination of t-shirts and this thing called Stuff a Cow. So we felt it was, it worked out well. I don't turn every Facebook post we do into an ad. I targetedly use it, but we had pretty good success with it this year. You have to give a credit card. You have to give a credit card the person who actually does it.
Mhm.
So a couple of times throughout the year, I had to go get reimbursed for that.
Now, that's a great idea, especially if it's something that people just outside your club can utilize.
Yeah.
But or events, like you said, that you want the community to be a part of. But I think it's a great idea.
Hey, Janette, Lindsay, can I volunteer you in Dawson Springs, right? In Dawson Springs, you had the wonderful calendar, the daily calendar, and you all did a great job.
Thanks.
Folks, so can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, I had the idea, but I can't take credit for, I was just the idea person. Our club president, she actually led the charge. But the way that worked, and I went to Pets in 2018, I think it was. So I can't even, this is not an original idea. I learned about this at Pets and just kind of kept it in my notes, and I was going back through some stuff and came back across it. We were trying to figure out how we could have a fundraiser, but also engage the community and engage the public while using social media. So this checked all those boxes. And because our social, and this is my fault, I will take full responsibility for this. Our social media presence has not been that great. So we needed something to really pick it back up. And one of the best ways to do that right now, with the way the algorithms are written, are live videos. So not just uploading things that are pre-recorded, but actually getting on there live. People, even if you mess up, people love to see it. So they do. So anyway, what we did is we did a calendar raffle. And if anybody doesn't know what that is, we always have an auction each year. And this year we weren't able to have our auction. So in place of the auction, we went to all of the businesses and the people that usually contribute to our auction. And we filled up our game ticket. I wish I had one in front of me, but our ticket was the calendar for the month of November. And every single date on the calendar represented a prize. And it would be listed in the grid on the calendar. And so we determined the price for these tickets. And each week we stopped selling the tickets before our first drawing, but our drawing would take place on Saturday on Facebook Live, and we would draw each ticket. One was a chance to win every single day of the month. So if you won one day, then your stub would go back in there and we could draw you again for the very next day. So anyway, we did that consistently 4 Saturdays in a row for the whole month of November, went live on Facebook and gave stuff away to the folks who had bought tickets. So everyone's going to tune into that. Anyone that has access to Facebook and has bought a $20 ticket, they're tuning in each Saturday, and which gets us back in their news feeds anytime we post after that. For quite a period of time, it's pretty effective. So even if you're not doing a big raffle, which it was hugely successful, it made up for us not being able to do our regular auction, kind of kept us afloat. But even if you're not having a raffle or anything organized, yes, Cindy's asking, did I do 7? We did draw 7 prizes, and November was a really perfect month because November started on a Sunday. So we had 777, and then like our last, what would that be, 3 days were grand prizes. So yeah, we had a big grand prize drawing, but it was really successful for us as a fundraiser, but it was also very successful at getting us back out in front of our audience on Facebook. So
Well,
even if you're not doing an organized raffle, maybe get on Facebook Live and do something live.
Well, and I would see from your postings, people wanting to know, how do I get one of those tickets?
Yeah.
And so, which I understand you all followed up on every one of those folks as well.
And you know, if in hindsight, I personally, Alan is asking how many tickets did we sell? I said we asked each club member to sell, yes, and all the prizes were donated. So this cost us $0. It didn't cost us anything, which is generally how we do our auction. We get everything donated. And so our tickets were $20 a piece, and we thought it was reasonable to ask each one of our club members to sell 5 tickets. I thought, I'm selling the most. I'm selling all the tickets. So I know that final count, I want to say that maybe we'd sold somewhere between 90 and 100 tickets. And if in hindsight, if we had gone live and talked about our tickets more than we did, and utilized that tool on Facebook to get out there in front of them live prior to the drawings, I think we could have broken 100.
Cool. Well, you know, talking about Facebook Live, Dawn, I see you on Hendersonville, Henderson. It's Madisonville and Henderson. You all do, you got one of the best Facebook pages out there, and you're doing live stuff now every week, if I'm not mistaken. Can you talk to us about what you're doing?
Well, we're actually not on Facebook Live. We're on Zoom, but what we do is we have a YouTube channel. And so every Thursday afternoon before I go home from work, my assignment is to get the Zoom meeting uploaded onto our YouTube channel. And then we push that out to our Instagram page as well as our Facebook page.
Oh, so that's what so when I get the notice, like on Friday morning, that you all are live, that's what I'm getting. That's what
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So you can go back and watch the video on our YouTube channel. The interesting thing is we have a local radio show. Speak Up, it's a community affairs show that's on every day from 8:15 until 8:45. And so far he has used 5 of our Rotary meetings as his show. So it's not just the speaker, but they get to hear all about the Rotary Club news and what we're doing and our member spotlight. So it's been really interesting. I've had other people ask how I'm able to get him to do that, and I'm not doing anything. He follows our Facebook page, and so he sees when it's up, and so he just uses that and he takes a break for the day. So that's been a happy accident of our YouTube channel. But our YouTube channel has been something that we started, I guess, in August, and it's been pretty well. It's been effective, especially for members who have missed the meetings but wanting to hear the speakers, or members who missed the meeting and just wanting to get caught up on our news, but weren't particularly interested in the speaker.
Janette?
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is Bill Miller in Frankfurt. Just following up on what Don said, we have a situation here in Frankfurt where we get our community access television station to come. Well, they don't come now physically, but we send them the Zoom taping from our speaker each week, and they air it every Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. on our local community access television station. And so that's been very, very helpful. And also our community access television station, we send them a blurb each week on our speaker, and they put it on their electronic bulletin board. So that also has helped get our image out in front of the community. But on the print media side, we have the editor of the State Journal, who's a member of our Rotary committee, or club, I should say. In fact, he is our media chair for this year. And what we do is send them an article each week. And then periodically they'll do a feature article on some issue. We did one on international issues not too long ago that they will run in the Frankfurt State Journal. So those are more traditional approaches. Another approach, I'll just mention, just do a self-plug, on my Global Connections television program, I've done interviews with John Huco, our General Secretary of Rotary International, Peter Kyle, who's a member of the Rotary Board of Directors. These shows are available to all of our Rotary clubs. They can download them free of charge. In fact, this TV show goes worldwide, and many of our Rotary clubs are now setting up with their community access television stations a weekly publication, if you will, or airing of a Global Connections television show. And then they put a trailer at the end of the program saying, this educational program is co-sponsored by the Bangkok Rotary Club or something like that, and for further information, contact so-and-so or go to the website. So there are a variety of ways to do that. And again, if anybody's interested, they can go to globalconnectionstelevision.com and see interviews with, our district governor, Joanne Hepperman, Frank Devlin, a past Rotary International president. And again, these shows are free and you can just pull them down at no charge. So those are three things that we're doing in Frankfurt and really worldwide to promote Rotary.
Thank
Well,
you. That's wonderful.
And I'll just add, I mean, Bill is always gracious. I was on a couple of years ago to talk about the cervical cancer project in Haiti. I mean, that was why I was there. But I would say to all of the clubs, if you have particularly a unique community service project, and I wish Springfield was on, I'll just put a bug in your ear, Bill, but the Springfield Rotary Club is the classic club this year who happened into a community service project that went from a $5,000 project now to a $40,000 project that involves the entire community of Springfield. And they so far have added 6 new members to their club because the people in the community had no idea that this was the kind of stuff that Rotary did. But if you have a project going in your club that is community wide, or you're doing something on an international basis, talk to Bill. Bill's happy to work with you, I think.
Please do, yes. Yeah. And Joanne, you mentioned the cervical cancer program in Haiti. That was, I guess, about 3 years ago, we did a taping. And that program is still timely. It is evergreen. Few of the statistics may have changed, but that program is still airing around the world, which means we get a lot of publicity long after we do the program. It may run 4, 5, 6 years that some stations will air it. So please just take a look at it. And if you do have any interesting international projects, please give me a call or send me a note at millerkyun@aol.com.
Thank you, Bill. I mean, that's why this is so wonderful that, we can, just the ideas that other people have used, and we might not be able to do exactly, what you're doing, but, like with Bill here, we're able to reach out to Bill and he can provide us with tools that we can share, and it grows. So this is, this is wonderful that we can do this. Does anybody else have any examples that they've been using?
Janette, it's not an example, but I'll just tell you here in Bowling Green, as we always try to do, use your own members to help boost the number of things that are seen on Facebook. Because every time somebody shares something, it gets seen to a whole different audience. So don't try to do it all as a Rotary Club, but involve your members and make sure that they like and share the posts.
Yeah. Now, and that takes it from the Rotary Club to individuals, and that's how we grow the public. So no, you're right, Rick. Thank you. Do I have any other comments or any other ideas to share?
I do, and this is, I guess, going back more to the printed advertisements that Caitlin and Brittney were talking about. The nice thing that what they were doing, it's only a few words that catch your attention. And think about driving down the interstate or the highway, and we see a billboard and they've got 75 words up there telling whatever the story is. I don't have time to read it, so I don't look at it. If I'm looking at an ad and it's going to take too long for me to read it, I turn the page. So if you can have just 3 or 4 words that attract someone's attention, then you can go into telling more, or they click on one word and it brings up more. I think that's better than bringing up a full screen of a gob of words.
Yes.
Yeah, like this one. These are good. Transform, connect. Yep. Excellent.
I love the point that you made, because you're right. They're short, they're simple, they're to the point. They see people doing something, they see a word to highlight it, and then they see the Rotary logo. That's what they need to see. So I love the People of Action campaign for that very reason.
Good. Caitlin, that's been posted in the file on the website, as has the logos at a glance.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Lee, can I ask, I mean, I'm so pleased the chat has been the most vigorous chat that we've had on any of the IDEX stages, and thank you all for all of that. But there, Brittney, people are clamoring for your screens that you showed. Lee, I'm just going to ask you, is there...
It's already posted,
well,
the PowerPoint and the template.
All right. Okay. And
now, too, for my flyers, I use postermywall.com. It's free, and that's where I do a lot of poster templates for different things and different groups that I'm part of. So that's where I got the one that said about the new members. I can't remember if I typed in recruitment or something like that, but all you have to do is sign up and you have access. And you can actually, when you create your account, it saves your flyers too, so you can go in and change them for different events.
Thank you. That's awesome. One thing too, I was going to say, Bill mentioned about, here we go, the concept rule of thumb for billboards is 7 words or less, and that's the same concept for social media. So less, and reflecting back to your statement, less is more. So it is, the whole intent is to grab the attention, pull them in, and let them ask questions. And that's, you just have to make sure that your people answer those questions in a timely manner. That is the key in anything that you do, from a business to nonprofit, is that when someone reaches out, make sure that you reply to them as soon as possible. If you have someone that's in your club that's involved and maybe knows something about it, let them be the one that, you know, watches your social media page and does that for the club. But you need to have someone that owns that, so that you don't have to, you know, just, well, I thought he would do it or she would do it. So definitely find that social media person that maybe not necessarily is in charge of all the posting, but will at least, you know, mine it to make sure what's going on and to answer questions or find out the answers.
Hey, Janette, you hit on a perfect point. For those of you that are presidents, there are several here. There's a couple of president-elects, several public image chair, folks. A committee implies more than one person. The Public Image Committee should have at least 4 at a minimum, because that could cover all the different ways we think about media. But it ought to have 7 or 8 people, because there's jobs. There's jobs to be done, as Janette was talking about. We can put our name out there over and over and over again, but if somebody isn't chasing the information, the good that all that information is doing, it sort of goes to waste. If we have time for one more idea, Dawn, I want to come back to you. You all have a great thing that you do on Facebook whenever one of your new members has a baby, which helps the rest of the world understand that Rotary is not just about people over 65. Can you share?
Sure. We have, if you go on Russell Hampton, they have a onesie that says Future Rotarian. And so when we have a Rotary member who has a child, we send them one of those onesies. And then we ask if when the child wears it, if they'll send us a picture that we can share on Facebook. So, and the point of that, we started that to try to dispel we're an old club, but that we have a lot of young people.
Maybe you could expand it to grandkids and
That's actually a really good one. That's a good thought.
That's a great thought, because then you cover all the generations, and you cover all the
yeah. And you start them out right in that onesie with Rotary.
Well, I know it would be appropriate for our club. We have a lot of grandfathers and grandmothers in there that
yes,
are still they want to bring those babies up right.
Thanks, Rick.
Janette, can I make one more? Can I make
Yes.
one more quick plug real quick?
Yes.
So I know we're running low on time, and so I don't want to keep you guys on this, but I do want to just please reiterate the fact that our brand and our logo are very, very important. So as you are utilizing social media, print media, whatever media you choose to use, head out to the brand center before you start posting anything, and please, please, please utilize the newest logo available. If you have any questions about how to make this happen or how to create a lockup like this for your Rotary Club, or if you're partnering with somebody, I and Janette and Brittney, probably, we're all more than willing to help. I have actually talked to Janette a little bit about doing additional training on utilizing Brand Center and making sure that we're all on the same page with using the newest logos. So just keep that in the back of your mind as you're passing this information along to your clubs, please, because just like any other large corporation or global corporation, we want to make sure that the logo that we're putting out to our viewers is exactly the same as it is all over the world. So if your club is still utilizing the old Rotary wheel, please take that one away, and you can get the Mark of Excellence, the new one, right on the Brand Center website. So happy to help with that if you guys need it.
And by the way, if you're using something that you're not supposed to be using, Rotary International will let your president know too. So.
Absolutely. Yes, that is a very good point. They are, they will definitely make it known if you're using the Mark of Excellence in a way that it's not supposed to be. This is one of the PDFs that Lee just added to our website. So if you want a quick reference, you can go back to this. But I will tell you, just as a quick thing, there's a full guide here. So if we really want to get into how detailed this is and what Rotary International is really wanting, I mean, they have colors, they have certain things that you can use all right here. There's a how-to that shows you how to use it and how not to use it if you need a refresher on that as well. This document is also listed on My Rotary. It's much longer, so I did not post this one on the website, but if you all want it, or if you want additional information on it, I'm happy to help with that too.
It's on the website. It's in the folder. This is the Voice and Visual Identity Guidelines, the full one, yeah.
Yep.
Wonderful. Awesome. Thank you for bringing that our attention to that, because it is very important to follow those guidelines. And that's one thing that I don't know when we're going to be doing another idea exchange, but Caitlin and I were discussing about possibly having a tutorial type shop to where for those that do want to learn how to utilize the brand center and any other ideas, would you let us know if that's something that you all would like to do to have additional training? Because I will let Caitlin know because she's the expert with, I follow along with whatever she tells me to do. But I realized on my own that it's something I'm having to learn because I still don't have it down pat, but I'm learning it. And so I know I'm not alone. So if you would like an informational, little seminar, let me know or let Joanne know, and we'll try to pull together a time that's effective. Or one thing I had mentioned in one of our meetings was also possibly, we're going to be doing breakout rooms at the conference. And maybe that might be something we can have a breakout room for learning to utilize, your brand center and have a, 15, 20 minute tutorial type session for people to learn. So that's just an idea.
And let's follow Dawn's leadership here. If this is something if you would be interested in a training session, put it in chat before you go out. Just if you're a yes, put it in chat. So we'll have a sense of whether it's valuable to you or not. Whether or not we do another one of these depends on whether you want it. We're not looking for ways to waste your time. But if there is enough interest in sharing ideas, or there's particular things that you would like to know more about, send us that information, and we're here to serve you. Janette, kudos. Thank you, thank you. Thank you also to Caitlin and to Brittney and to Lindsay and to Dawn and Dave and Les and Bill. The problem is when you start naming people here, I think you all are the ones that, Rick, when you talk about ideas, that's what this is all about. Thank you. I think we've all learned something.
Joanne, I'm going to show my age, but I feel like I'm back on Romper Room.
Having a good time?
Yes, I am.
Janette, if you want to, when we send the recording of this out to everybody, we can include a little short survey monkey for requests of what they'd be interested in. I knew that Jane was going to call and ask me to do that, so I just thought I'd preempt her. So.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
It's a great idea.
But are there any other questions? And we are just over time. So thank you all so much for joining us and for being a part of Rotary and helping with the communities and around the world. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Go out and do good things.
Okay, thanks, Janette.
Thanks.